Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the lab. I'm, of course, your host, John Burkhead, back with another episode of SoyCast. We got the bros on, Ace looking dazed and confused, Andre looking like Michael B. Jordan, and, of course, the wonderful Al Beasley. What's up, y'all?
Hello.
What's up? So Ace and myself got movie references, but Albert didn't get anything, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm worried to say anything around Albert because he's just going to,
Yeah, I didn't even get casted.
His nickname is Medieval, man, so I got to be careful because he's always firing. So, got to watch out. We could call him Braveheart, right? That's medieval.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
Do you guys remember that one? Do you remember that one Filipino cat in Braveheart? No, yeah, they didn't have anyone in there. Yeah.
I thought there was legit a guy there.
Oh, that'd be great. Imagine.
No, I don't think Filipinos.
I'm trying to find your Bill. Where is the war?
Oh,
That'd
no.
be great, man. Oh, hey, I just saw like a recent video of Pacquiao came up on my feed. It's just like a trainer hitting him with like some stick all on his abs and shit and his arms. Like Pacquiao is different.
Yeah,
Is he still fighting, or you think it's like an old video?
well, no, he has a fight coming up in August against
Okay,
I think
So-
Earl Spence, right, or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he's still doing it, huh?
Yep.
What is that stick supposed to do? You know what that stick's supposed? I know it's like painful, right?
Yeah, it's like pain tolerance.
Instead of like a hurt.
Yeah, but how does it hurt? If it's just like, what is it like? Sending vibrations or?
It's like a sting.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of it's like a lot of Muay Thai fighters use it. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, not that I follow it or anything. I just
Well, I mean, imagine if he was in Braveheart. That would have been a whole different movie. That would have been tight.
Hey, yo, hit up the guy with the sticks for your training.
Hey, for real, that's. Oh my gosh! Can you imagine Mel Gibson just getting waxed by Pacquiao?
Oh man.
Missed
But,
opportunities.
Speaking of missed opportunities, how do y'all feel? We had it all wrong, y'all. Y'all picked the Valley of the Sun, but it's Fear the Deer this year.
Oh
Did
man.
that rhyme? But yeah, we got the finals all wrong, man. How y'all feeling about that?
Yeah, our crystal ball got gloomy real quick.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, props to Giannis. I mean, even though he doesn't have a bag, he secured the bag. 50 points last game. I mean, you got to give credit when it's due. I mean, he popped off. That's insane.
I mean, not only that, like it wasn't just a one-time thing. He had two 40-point games going into this the final game, and people say he doesn't have a go-to move, but if you have heart and determination, no one can stop that. And it's been 8 years, right? He's been in the league, something like that, right?
No, has it been 8? I thought it was 2015. I'm gonna double check this right now.
But yeah, like I mean, he came in like a scrawny, twig, and they asked him like, what do you, where do you see yourself in the future? And people were thinking he was talking crazy, saying, "Oh, I'm going to be an NBA champion. I'm going to get bigger. I'm going to, do this and do that." And he proved all this wrong. He did get bigger. He is an NBA champion, and he's making Kobe proud. So,
And what did he have for a free throw stat line in that game?
it was like
17
17 for 19. Like, well, he didn't miss.
17 for 19.
Yeah.
He missed a couple, but still, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's crazy. 17 for 19 free throws.
It's just for the team's two superstars, like the Bucks superstar, just outperformed the Suns. Booker. Obviously Chris Paul. If you want to say who's the leader of the team, he's more veteran. But if you want to say like superstar and like take over a game, like you would expect that to be Devin Booker. And I mean, I guess like he had a solid series, right? Because I think he had a couple games he had 40 points or something. It's maybe kind of quiet, or maybe those were just the first two games. But yeah, just when it came down to them losing games for the Suns, you always, I mean, with me watching, it felt like I wanted to see a little more from Booker. Like he would, people miss shots, so it's not like his fault. Like it happens, but it seemed like there were a lot of opportunities where if he made the shot, the game would have been a lot different. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of the way it goes. One superstar is a shooting guard, the other superstar is just like a super big man. So it's easier for Giannis to get his shot because all he has to do is just drive, throw his body into like the key and like get fouled or put the ball up. Booker has to, find a shot, sink threes and do all that. So I think I think the game was kind of geared more towards Giannis for this series.
And what I liked about Giannis is he wasn't trying to play the refs. He was literally going in there, wasn't trying to look for the foul, even though he was looking for the foul. He wasn't trying to act out where give me the foul. He was literally going in there brute strength. If he gets fouled, he gets fouled. If not, he's gonna throw it up, and if he misses it, he's gonna try to go and get that rebound. So, yeah, like you can't take anything away from Giannis. Like I am actually wowed by Giannis after seeing this series. Like I was actually going for Booker, but man, Giannis really made me into a believer. Right? Like Albert said, he doesn't have a bag, but you can't beat heart and determination. And we get to see next year what they bring to the table. But he really proved a lot of people wrong this season.
It looked like Shaq too. Sorry to cut it again, but like when Shaq was just he was so dominant to a point where you couldn't stop him. Like if they got the pass to him, you can't really stop him. You just have to hope he misses or you foul him. And so I felt like it got to that point with Giannis where like none of the defense. I guess I felt really bad for Ayton because he would just try to throw a shoulder in there, throw a body in there, and he was just getting beat and looked exhausted. But it was either Giannis was going to make it or you foul him, and then he was making every free throw too at the end. So that was crazy.
Yeah. So do you think Chris Paul will ever get a ring now? I mean, this was basically his first chance, right?
Yeah.
You might have to call his homeboy LBJ and see if they can bring in somebody else. But we have to see if he re-signs with the Suns, right? And if the Suns beef up a little bit more, it looks like they need another big man.
They need like a legit big, like Aiden's a center, right? But they need like a forward that can play big. Because they have a bunch of guards and wings, right?
Well, that's weird though to say that because the league's been very guard centric and threes and all that. So do you think with this outcome and with Giannis basically dominating, is he himself the way Curry changed the league? Is he gonna temporarily change the league in the sense of, well, we can't compete unless we have someone that can match or slow down Giannis? Because that was like that was the difference. You know what I mean? Like if a team doesn't have how many teams have someone as big and mobile as Giannis?
Bakers.
Sorry, I meant more of a paint player because the Suns they take the most jump shots of any team in the league. They don't have guys that really touch the paint like the Lakers, like Milwaukee, even Brooklyn. Brooklyn average a lot of paint points because Harden and Durant and those guys get into the paint, but they don't have a lot of guys that can do that for them. Like that's where their hole was not that their offense is really solid because Booker and Chris Paul and all that, but when the game really slows down, as like Milwaukee was doing, they don't have paint touches. Giannis always touched the paint. He had to touch the paint. It's something that Ben Simmons can look at and be like, I need to play more like that. Even though he's not as strong as Giannis, he can definitely move like him, right? He's the Greek freak. By the way, Ace, you're right. It was 2013 that he came into the league. But it's one of those things, like the teams that get like they just have more paint touches, and then that opens up the floor. Again, I don't think Giannis is going to impact the league like Curry because you can't really play like him because he's just so gifted, right? Naturally, like who's that?
Not a lot of big men that can like move like him, basically.
Yeah. So what's going to happen? Like, say if the Bucks get there again next year or are pushing hard in playoffs, like if he just is going to do that move where he just kind of gets the ball at the top of the key and just going to drive, throw a shoulder, spin. Like, what do you do if you don't have a bit like a good center or a strong, large human being to try to stop him.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna require adjustments, and it's gonna be one of those things where if you can't stop him, you have to slow him down, and your offense needs to pick it up. Let's not forget, Brooklyn took them to Game 7 with just Durant, and now that team might, when healthy, like I just don't think Giannis will have enough firepower to keep up with them. But again, it's healthy, and there's all these what ifs and all that good stuff. But yeah, like we all said, Giannis proved you don't need a full game to win. You just need to be dominant, because that's what he was.
Question: with them winning, do you think they're going to add on to them, and what do you think they're going to add on to their team to make them go up another level?
They'll probably add like a veteran to help for the second unit to kind of just get through the league, and hopefully Giannis gets a little bit better. That's probably what they're going to be banking on. It's every year it's totally different, but I mean, I'm sure they have to retool a little bit. Portis was a big deal because he's a big body, right? Like if Phoenix had a Bobby Portis type who's a big body that can be tough like that, that could be something. That's why they went and got Tucker, right? Because he's a hard, strong body that's going to guard the guards, and allow Giannis to take a break and Drews to sometimes take a break. So someone like that.
And no one's up for free agency, correct? Like Chris Middleton, Giannis, Drew. The core is still there next year, right?
Yeah, Middleton and Drew. They signed Drew this season. They signed Middleton last offseason.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it should be interesting. I mean, next year teams are going to be fully healthy, right? We got Clay back, Harden, Durant, Kyrie are going to be back for Brooklyn. We're going to get Anthony Davis back for the Lakers. The new class coming in, they look pretty promising. Possible moves, right? So next year should be interesting, but we shouldn't take anything away from Milwaukee. Congratulations. They won 4 straight, right? So the Suns was supposed to beat them in 4. Nope, they lost 4 straight. So kudos to Milwaukee. We were wrong. All right. The soy boys were wrong. All right, Milwaukee, you got us.
Yeah, basically. So I guess what's next? Fantasy football?
Honestly, I haven't really
Yeah.
I haven't really looked into fantasy football. I might have to do my homework, kind of like what I did in college the night before. But yeah, don't know anything about fantasy football right now.
Are you excited at all for Olympic hoops?
Yeah, I'd say like a 3 or 4 out of 10. I'm not like, it's gonna be bad. I don't know. Like I'll put it on if the US is playing. I haven't really thought. It's kind of weird. Like the Olympics start Friday, right?
This weekend.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I just realized, oh snap, Olympics. So we'll see. Maybe once opening ceremonies are going, get a bit more amped. But as a kid, I loved Olympics. I loved the Olympics as a kid, and then as I got older, just kind of like whatever.
I think the Olympics actually got me into anything that was like USA Nike related, like shoe. I'm always like drawn to like, whoa, that's super cool. Ever since the 1992 Olympics, where they had a dream team, I was more like, whoa, anything Nike USA. I'm really drawn to it. It's just maybe this year I'm more interested, not even watching USA, watching the rest of the world. I kind of want to see where other players like Australia has like Patty Mills and all these different players, and Lithuania. I think is Luka playing in the Olympics with Slovenia, right?
Slovenia.
Yeah, and that's what Jokic, right?
Jokic.
And he's playing too, right? So we get to see Luka and Jokic play together. So that's going to be really interesting, right? So I'm more interested this year to this Olympics to watch other teams rather than our actual USA team this year.
Yeah. What got me excited for Olympics was the Olympics in China. I remember just randomly tuning in and watching the women's soccer Olympics, and they were phenomenal. And then I just followed them ever since after that. And unfortunately, they lost their first game in Group B, like 3
Sweden.
days ago. Yeah, to
3-0. Molly
yeah.
Wop.
And then and then they have another game, I believe, sometime around sometime this morning or something, or tomorrow morning. It's
Also,
hella
soccer's
early.
already started.
Yeah, soccer already started. I think like baseball and softball already started.
Oh, okay. The ones that have like a lot of games, I guess.
Yeah.
More games and some of the other
Yeah,
sports competitions.
exactly. But of course, basketball always gets me excited. And I think
Get some
Yeah,
titillated.
it does.
Get some titillated.
Let me see. Stand up.
League of Legends, there's always a international play, and they always say the gap is closing because Korea is usually the best country in the esports and League of Legends. USA is that best basketball team, so I think the gap is really getting closer. As when they say it as far as basketball was. And yeah, like they lost to Nigeria. They have so much phenomenal talent like internationally that I'm excited to see who I haven't even heard of yet.
But are you at all concerned about the goings on with the Olympics? I think there's like crazy spike in COVID cases, and apparently they implemented like a no sex bed for all of the athletes now too. Like they're trying really hard to make it like.
Wait, a no sex bed?
Yeah, I think
What's a no
I think
sex bed?
Bleacher Reporter.
Yeah,
I
apparently
saw
they're made of like cardboard or something.
The beds
they
that
only sleep on it.
that the athletes are sleeping on that need to be in tip top rest for like that one moment that they waited their whole life for, like cardboard beds because they're worried about fornication.
Yeah, just imagine
Something like that, Dre.
Just imagine their alarm doesn't work.
That's wild. I mean, like, who needs a bed to have sex? You just sleep in like fucking the shower,
Yeah, exactly.
the kitchen. You know. Like,
Well, they have a paper
aisle.
couch, so they have a cardboard bed, paper couch, straw chairs.
That's
Loose leaf table. But I think that's just like a not a hoax, but like I think they're just trying to reach. I think it's more just trying to be eco-friendly, if anything. But if sex sells, I guess for that article, then I guess it makes sense.
It made you two read it, right?
I mean, hey, you could knock that off of a bucket list. Like, hey, baby, let's go have sex in this cardboard box.
No, but before they used to pass out condoms.
Yeah.
To all the athletes and stuff. But I guess they're not doing it anymore because they don't want to have people.
Like, encourage them.
Yeah, not so.
What are you talking about? We had sex. I was wearing the mask, so we're safe.
I got all the protection I need on my face.
Yeah, you're talking about. I even had the little face guard, so we're good.
Face shield.
The panay is 6 inches, so we're social distancing.
Wow.
No, Albert. No, that's not how it works.
Oh, okay. My bad.
But I like where your head's at.
Whoa. Okay, John, getting
Which
in
head?
on the penis jokes too. Okay, John, I see you. Getting in on the penis jokes.
No, but yeah, it did get us to read the article, which is interesting, kind of funny. Well, funny but not funny. I think the whole like you're not passing out,
Protection
or whatever. Yeah, protection. It was more because of they don't want people socializing with other people. Probably it's not necessarily because of like, the fornication, right? It's about like, we just don't want our athletes to socialize with randos on the street. I mean, that would be my guess.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think games like to attend are technically free over there. I think right now.
Oh no way.
Yeah, because since they're very like a lot of people are protesting about the games and they didn't want it to happen. So if the Olympic Games were free, would you guys attend?
I would. Hell yeah.
I would try to. Definitely.
I would
Especially if they have like games
ask-
like early in the morning or late at night, where you know the chances of not a lot of people going, you know, even if it's like not even like a big name country, but just a 10 Olympic game would be kind of cool, you know.
Like, would you
yeah,
go to the badminton game or the underwater synchronized swimming competition?
You're saying all the right things, Ray. You're talking about catching a Pacquiao on your YouTube feed. I was watching archery on my YouTube feed
Oh yeah.
the other day. I was like, yo, let me watch some of this USA archery. But I'll even go to one of those, Let's go, Billy Bob. You can hit that target.
Might get a free arrow to the knee.
Can you
Hey,
sign
bring
this
them
arrow?
back.
That's
2015 joke. I like it.
yeah.
yeah. Let's get to the point, Albert.
Oh damn.
Hey.
Sorry,
Okay.
Okay.
sorry guys. I just had pizza. I would, share it with you guys, but I think it's too cheesy.
Okay.
So
Who must be the shortest episode so far?
And I know, right? Everyone closed the window now. No, just kidding. All right, let's switch it up a little bit then. We gave everyone a week, and this movie we gave a little bit longer, but let's talk some Marvel because some milestones have happened. Loki finished its first season, confirmed for a season 2, and Black Widow, the first movie in a long time from the MCU. Albert, what do you want to start with?
Let's start with Loki since I think that first came out, right? That released first.
It did release first. That is correct. How did you, Dre? You saw Loki, right? Ace, you saw Loki.
Yes.
Okay, good, because we're gonna spoil it.
yeah.
We're gonna spoil Loki. You have been warned. You have been warned. Spoilers.
Also, I want to start with Loki because I got a gripe with you on Black Widow.
Okay, we can talk about it in a second. Go ahead with Loki.
Uh, Loki, I think that's one of my favorite series so far out of the MCU Disney Plus series. It started off pretty slow, but I think it picked up really well in the second episode. I think second episode might be my favorite one out of the series. Just the whole mystery, trying to find out who's behind the TVA, really pulled me in. Even though our suspicions, was Kang the Conqueror. But it was just still exciting how they got there. And the female version of Loki played a phenomenal job. I think she was very spectacular. And then seeing the different Lokis, I think was super interesting and hilarious. Favorite one was the alligator, of course. But the way they explained the whole timeline and the different branches, I think was easy to understand, and it projected the MCU storyline forward, and I think it's gonna go. I mean, it didn't disappoint for sure. So
Ace.
I took this as an appetizer, right? Loki, confirmed for the second season. To the point where it wanted me to see more. So I think they did their job. I think we talked about it in our past episodes how Marvel will never disappoint. They know what they're doing. Yeah. Overall, I think this was probably one of my favorite, or if anything, close to WandaVision because I really enjoyed WandaVision. But this was a really smart um, little sub series, and I like how they, like I said, it's an appetizer where they kind of opened it up now for the whole multi universe. So the possibilities are endless right now, and I guess that's where it kind of leads up to the whole series of what if, right? But this also opens up the whole series. Does this lead into Doctor Strange, right?
Yes.
So
Sure.
I am super excited to see Doctor Strange now because if this is going to lead into that, and then I'm pretty sure something's going to happen in Doctor Strange where it's going to probably lead into Loki season 2. So I'm guessing what Doctor Strange is going to be. It's already projected 2023, 22. So I'm thinking Loki season 2 is going to happen either before or right after. Before? after, cool. It doesn't matter. I'll still watch it. But yeah, I really really enjoyed Loki. Really really good. And
Okay.
plus, I think their opening sequence, that little all changing of the Loki, genius. I really really enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely a 2023 show because Doctor Strange will probably add on to whatever's going to happen. It's going to add on to the madness, if you will.
Hey, okay, I see what you did there.
Thanks. I don't know what I did.
I think the only thing I didn't like about the series was I think in the beginning, or I guess throughout the series, where we're like, you have to trust me. Like they would always have to say, you have to trust me. I'm like, I mean, these are Lokis, and like
Yeah,
you can't trust the god of mischief. Like it's, but I hated how they had to reiterate, like you have to trust me type of thing. Like and then at the end, they do that single swoop, and I was like, sorry, I had to do it type of thing. I think that was the only disappointment I had with it.
Yeah, good point. It's like he's a liar. So the one thing you can trust about a liar is that they're going to lie. Like I trust you're going to lie, but I can't trust you if you're telling the truth.
very true.
Man, you ain't never lie.
I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
Mm.
It's Scarface. Go ahead, Dre. Sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah. I enjoyed the show. Like it wasn't like knock out of the ballpark type of level, but I thought it had a lot of good elements. Owen Wilson, phenomenal. Just he's very charming and charismatic. Haven't seen a lot of him on screen in a while. So I feel like it's been a few years, so nice having him back on a project. Yeah, I thought whenever he was on screen with Hiddleston, like I thought they were really good together. So I enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed the music. It's kind of weird, but like the music was incredible for that. It was like gothic and like hard electro at the same time, or like a spooky electro and gothic. I don't know. It was cool, but the music's amazing. I recommend people going back and checking that out. And then yeah, it's kind of interesting the way they were doing different timelines and trying to explain that and the branching off and fixing it. And it's always kind of hard when you deal with. I mean, it's kind of time travel, but changing of times and those type of concepts. Since it's very like kind of high level and like hypotheticals, and they're trying to like kind of fit into like a science logic. But I think they did a pretty good job with that. The female Loki at first, I felt kind of awkward about her. Like I didn't really like what she was doing, and then the more I saw her, with each episode, I got to like her more and more to where like I was like kind of really liking her performance. So I was actually pretty impressed with her. Yeah, because I thought like it felt kind of weird or wonky at first. I've never really read those comics, so I guess they have a lot of different versions of Loki. John, is that right? Because clearly they had those. We saw a bunch more as well. So is that like a common thing? Is it like all the different Spider-Mans, or was there like a certain event that caused there to be a bunch of different Lokis?
I love how you reference the different Spider-Mans because in Spider-Man world, there is more Spider-Mans and they actually have a story where they have them all together, right? That it is technically the Spider-Verse, like that's an actual thing. But when it comes to the different Lokis, they didn't have it like this where they were all together. It was more Loki takes on different forms out his history. So he starts off as old Loki, who they showed, and then he eventually does become a girl. He eventually does become a kid. He's still himself. The alligator one's a bit more out there, but there's a universe where there's Frog Thor and all these other like creatures. It's the creature universe. Yeah. So that one's where he could definitely be like separate from the main Loki. But the main Loki in the comics, yeah, he kind of goes through all these transitions because, as they kind of alluded to even in the show, he's more of and this is very progressive, but he's more of a fluid character because he's so mischievous. If you think of like lust and mischief in the same vein, they're just like they can be whatever they want. So to heterosexuals, they're the opposite sex, but then to whatever it is, whatever you're into, like that's what you lust for. But then mischief can kind of fall in that same category of like whatever you're into, he can be.
Right. Yeah, and like I know actually in like real religions or old origin stories, there's the idea. I mean, it's a character that pops up in a lot of different origin stories, or kind of like the creations or the beginnings of different people's religions. And it's called like the trickster, which I guess like the trickster character is probably similar to a god of mischief. I know, and that it like took on the presence oftentimes as like a rabbit or something. I'm sure there's other forms and stuff too. So I get that Loki being god of mischief, the trickster embodiment in all those forms. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, some of the episodes were like, I wonder if, I assume this was mainly shot during COVID. I mean, I guess we're still technically in COVID. You know, there's been like swells of it being really intense, and then sometimes where it's lessened, and you know, I'm sure shooting's a little bit easier, but like to me, I got a lot of sense of like that claustrophobic vibe of like, oh, they're probably filming on a pretty closed set, not that many people, can't have that many extras because of COVID. So it's nothing. I mean, they're dealt with the cards that they're given. So I would have really enjoyed to see this show if it was made like maybe 2 years ago and we're able to be like really grand and like have like as much space and freedom to use. We'll see, maybe season 2 will come out. But yeah, overall it's cool. Thought the characters were all nice. There's one thing I was gonna say too, but I forgot. Oh yeah, the kiss. Like I was not expecting them to do the kiss. That caught me off guard. I was like, "There's no way," because he's technically. I mean, so you guys tell me, is that like masturbation? Like, are they kissing themselves? Or are they kissing a different person? Is Loki kissing herself at the same time, or are they technically different even though they're the same person?
They technically kiss themselves from
Right.
different universes. So they're kissing. It's
So
like
kind of a little masturbation scene then.
I mean, yeah. Like no, but
let me watch this again.
like no, but yes, because
well, I mean, they were
yeah,
giving pleasure to themselves.
also true.
That was weird to me. I would have liked it if they didn't kiss, if it was more of just like a friend thing, if there wasn't like a romance element added to it. But you know,
Well, that's the thing about Loki, right? He only loves himself.
Okay, fair enough.
I got a question for you.
Fair. Okay, I see what you. Okay, I see what you're doing.
Is this how the comics, like how they wrote this out, filmed it? Is this how the comics play out too as well?
No,
because then wouldn't it be technically saying that Lady Loki messed it all up then because she opened up the door of Pandora, kind of?
right, and no, yeah, it's not. This is not the comics at all. Like from female Loki is Loki. He just takes the shape of a woman. He shapeshifts, so he becomes a woman for reasons. I believe it's during the Dark Avengers storyline because Loki dies just like he dies in the MCU. Like he dies a lot and then he comes back.
Yeah, that's his whole thing, right? Like he can't be taken out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's a god.
So yeah, sorry to piggyback on Ace's question then. So the different forms of Loki, is it all the same entity Loki that takes on different forms, or there's different universes where a person was born named Loki and that person is a female, that person is a male, that person is an alligator. Or it's all the same spirit entity and then he wears a disguise? So you're saying all those different forms of Loki is just a different disguise?
For the most part, yes. So the way the Marvel designates the universes is they give them numbers, and we're Earth 616. So in the Earth 616 comic line, Loki takes on different forms, one being a woman, one being a kid, one being how he looks with that, you know, the yellow horns and that goofy outfit when he first showed up in the comics. Just like in Norse mythology, when Loki shows up, he shows up as different creatures and different beings, but he's the same Loki. When you have like the other type of Loki, because there's a few Lokis in there. The example was, you remember that buff black Loki with the hammer?
He was like the barbarian, right?
Yeah, that's from a different universe. That happened, you know, where Loki is like that, where it's more like Thor, if you will, than Loki. So they did have some that were from different universe, but the main ones, like the old one, the woman, and the kid, that was our Loki in the comics. Like that's just the same one throughout. But it was nice how they played on that to kind of introduce this multiverse style of show, because it's like, oh yeah, he can exist in different forms. And then you have President Loki, who looks exactly like Tom Hiddleston, if you remember that. Because
who played Kang, by the way?
Jonathan Majors.
Wow.
So
what?
So that was Kang, or who is Kang, and that's couldn't confirm that that's the person, or is this
yes,
a
He
Marvel
takes
character
different-
that people thought he was going to be, and then he's not?
Well, he
I
takes
got
on
this.
different forms as well too. But
Yes.
I just want to say, first off, Jonathan Majors stole the show. Was it episode 6? He was phenomenal. I loved his act. He was so good. I loved episode 6. He didn't save it, but man, he really stole the show for me.
I agree.
I actually didn't like it.
Oh, why,
I
Albert?
mean, I'm not saying he didn't act it terribly, but I just didn't like the direction he went with.
Like the style they wanted him to do.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
kind of flamboyant and over the top.
Yeah, exactly. I was expecting more, someone like, but then again, you needed somebody to explain everything, so I get why they went that way. But I was expecting like, him not to die so easily, I guess.
So he is a human.
Yeah.
King the Conqueror is a human, as you know. He is the far descendant of Reed Richards. So he's Nathaniel Richards Dre, that for like years and years and years in the 3100s.
What, like the
Mr. Fantastic, that's correct. He's a descendant of Mr. Fantastic. He's a scientist. Like, a lot of his powers come from his advanced technology.
So
like,
did he say that was his name in the episode, or are people just putting it together that the guy's smart? So, or everyone's a scientist in Marvel, but
Sure.
he's a scientist, so he's King.
Well, no. So in the episode, he took the name He Who Remains.
Right.
He Who Remains is a character in Marvel that's not King the Conqueror.
Okay.
But that's the name that he took up just because that's just the direction that they went. The reason why we know he's King the Conqueror is because he was casted as King the Conqueror in Ant-Man 3 Quantumania. Jonathan Majors was cast as King the Conqueror. Jonathan Majors is from Lovecraft Country. Phenomenal show. He does a phenomenal job there. And The Last Black Man in San Francisco, if you've seen those movies. He's a great actor. I loved him. That's what I was just going to say. Like, the show was okay for me until he showed up. And Albert, my question to you would be, if you were if you lived and understood everything that happens throughout the whole history of the timeline, right? You know, everything about time up until a certain point, wouldn't you kind of go a little crazy and be a little delirious?
Yeah, I guess, but I was expecting more of a depressed King.
I think he wanted to bait the female Loki into killing him, because he was ready to end it there. Like, he was like, okay, I'm done, but I don't want to kill myself.
It's really weird too, because he played the part where, oops, I don't know what's going to happen from here on out. In actuality, he knew what was going to happen.
If he was a betting man, he would bet that she was going to kill him because she was filled with rage.
Correct.
Another thing that the last episode, why was he eating the apple? The symbolism of that is, if you remember in, like, the Bible,
Twilight.
Oh, he's like that snake, that temptress that tempts Eve with the apple, because Loki was Adam and Eve. Like, that was kind of the symbolism they're going with, and he kept eating the apple, tempting her to give in to what you want, and what you want is to kill me. You want to kill me, because that's what he wants too, but he didn't want to just spell it out, because if he said that, she wouldn't have done it probably.
Correct.
There's a lot of like symbolism. Anyways, the point is, I really liked him. So Dre, that's how we know he's King the Conqueror, is because he was already cast as King the Conqueror, and now as a
where that info come out was like IMDb or something.
Remember how
What, it didn't come out for Comic-Con, right?
it was a little after Comic-Con. So remember at Comic-Con they were like, and Mahershala Ali is gonna be Blade.
I
see.
And this boy, the dude from Star Wars, Pooh, he's gonna be Moon Knight. I forget his name.
Who?
The from the new Star Wars, the fighter, the pilot.
Oh, Poe.
Oh, I said poo. Whoops.
Pooh.
Oh,
No. Maybe it's Pooh. I don't know. We should go check it out.
Comment
Look it
down
up, look it
below.
up.
Is it poo or po?
Yeah,
it's
type it
Poe.
in.
It's Poe. Anyway, so they're like, Marvel announces, so and so. Poe's gonna be, I forget his name, Isaac.
Yeah.
Newton.
Anyway, oh dear. So it was one of those kind of like, and by the way, we just casted Jonathan Majors as King the Conqueror for Quantumania. So that's how we know he's King the Conqueror. And again, as Ace said, now he's free. There's different versions of him. So in the comics, because he is a time traveler, when he shows up at different points in time, he has different names. One of those is Immortus, which is the most powerful version. He's the one that meets Apocalypse. Then there's the original King. There's Iron Lad, not Iron Man, but Iron Lad, who joins the Avengers. Actually, he joins the Kid Avengers. So there's different versions of him too. But now instead of like always kind of having this confusing, like one character constantly travel back in time, because the multiverse is broken, then you can have like 5 different ones in different areas because he is an Avengers villain.
That sounds familiar. Wait, like, because I remember you were telling me and Ace about a character in Marvel called Iron Man Spider-Man, but I hadn't seen anything about it. Ace, I mean, like, I know you're a big Marvel guy and like, you have a lot of knowledge. So I mean, people on like the internet, if you guys don't know about Iron Man Spider-Man,
That's John.
John's very assertive that this is like a real character. This is a real type of Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse. Iron Man Spider-Man.
So what phase is he coming in? Is he part of the Spider-Verse, or
is
he gonna come into any phases? Spider-Man, Iron Man?
Albert, I bought the Iron Spider Funko Pop, and they kept saying,
yeah.
"Oh, you bought Iron Man Spider-Man." No, it's the Iron Spider. It's Spider-Man with Iron Man suit from the comics.
Iron Man.
No, it's the Iron Spider.
So internet guys, anyone out there, if you guys don't know about him, then you're an idiot, says John Burkett.
That's not what
He's the only one who has Iron Man Spider-Man. So you can send your comments and ats to him.
Yeah.
Idiots.
And for everyone listening, please type an F in the chat, right? Rip me. But yeah, I'm super excited.
So one last thing before, we don't have to change subject. One thing that,
we could.
Oh, sorry. I think my internet's lagging, so I might have talked over you. So yeah, one last thing. Obviously, like I heard this, like other places, not just my thought. Like I kind of had the same thought too. But I was watching Jeremy Johns, who does some good, reviews and things too. And he also brought up the point of that this Loki seemed to like have a change kind of quickly. Like I wonder what you guys thought. Like, yeah, he gets to see things. He sees his end. He sees that Thor really truly like loves him. So I'm like assuming like that's seeing Thor hold him when he dies is like kind of like what like makes someone to be a better person. But I mean, we're dealing like it felt like the show Loki felt like the Loki at the end of Endgame, but it was really the Loki after the first Avengers, after like the whole new
where the Hulk tosses him around, right?
Yeah, and so it felt like he kind of made that switch a little quick for me. Like I mean, I guess you only had 5 or 6 episodes, so they wanted to make his change super quickly. But I think it might have been better if like maybe for the full first season he was still kind of more the god of mischief and not so much like a hero. But yeah, I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's what I liked about this season was because of how quickly he changed. Just because when he first saw himself in the interrogation room, he knows what he becomes, and which is like the better Loki, the better version of Loki. And I feel like him watching himself, basically the female version of himself, I think that's where he realizes and sees all the actions that he would have made of himself as the bad Loki, and understanding that what she's doing that's what I loved about the last part, and him trying to convince her otherwise of not to kill Kang the Conqueror, is because he's basically telling her, which is himself, that it's not worth it.
So he made out with himself. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, because he's in love with himself, and that all in all, I think that was my favorite part was that whole of him basically saying like, it's not worth it. That whole monologue or whatever dialogue that they had with each other. I think that was a highlight of the series for me. And I think that's when he realized that he is not only better like the better version Loki, but I think he transcends into a different type of Loki after Endgame.
Okay. That's interesting. So you're saying, like, you would say it wasn't just him seeing that video or whatever that made the full change. Like he sees that, and then by interacting with the female Loki, he starts to realize it kind of hits home harder there. Like, wow, yeah, like this is gonna be me if I don't, choose or change to be better, and that's like not the path that's like worth going down.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with Albert, and I also think by finding like basically like discovering, hey, I love this other person, even though it's himself. So it's kind of weird. Like I love this other person, but it's also me. That he wanted to do things for her, right? Like there were a lot of times where he's like, we can figure this out. Like it was more of a we than just an I, even though it's still him. But yeah, I got that vibe too, where it's like she helped him accelerate being a better version of himself. Very philosophical.
Yeah.
Kind of philosophical when you talk about loving yourself when they're another person.
But I mean, she was stuck, so Loki had to help her.
Yeah.
Stepsister's stuck. You got to kiss her.
Yeah, she stuck on another planet, right, Albert?
Yeah, exactly.
You're sick. No, I'm kidding. And on that note, Black Widow.
Speaking of another person I wanted to kiss.
Oh, yeah, which one?
Yelena Belova for sure.
Oh, yes.
Who's that? Which one's that?
What's her name, Albert? The actor who plays her?
Oh, I have no idea.
Olga something.
No, it's like Florence.
Oh, Florence Pugh. Oh,
Yeah.
that Florence.
Yeah.
Florence name.
Olga.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she was great in Fighting with My Family.
Fighting with My Family. She was also really good in Midsommar.
And I liked her a lot in this one.
So, Dre, what did you think of Black Widow?
Sorry, still catching up. It was all right. I don't know. It was action felt really weird for me, but I'm just getting old, so it's weird. I like anime action. I like The Last Airbender. Those fight scenes look really cool, but like when it's CGI stuff, like with them flying through the sky, that doesn't do it for me. So yeah, it was. I'm not going to say anything that hasn't been said already a bunch of times, probably on the internet. But yeah, like I kind of would have liked it more if it was more kind of spy, espionage, James Bourne vibe than what they went with.
Jason Bourne?
Jason Bourne?
Jason Bourne? You said James Bourne.
Did I?
Yeah, you're combining James Bond and Jason Bourne.
Good. I mean, that'd be amazing. Yes, it should have been both of those. Yes, I'm correct. It should have been a combination of James Bond and Jason Bourne.
James Bourne?
Oh man.
Yeah, I get you.
So yeah, I thought all it was just okay.
But you said it wasn't enough espionage? Like there wasn't enough
espionage. Okay. So one thing, like I would have liked to see her like doing cooler, like because in the earlier Marvel films when she first came in, they had really cool choreographed fight scenes for her. So I would have liked to see that sort of stuff than just Taskmaster coming in and blowing up her car and somehow she's okay. The car does all these flips and goes down like the subway and they just crawl out. And it's like, so they're invincible. Okay, I guess we're not gonna worry about her at all. So yeah, I just like, didn't have the stakes. Marvel's at that thing where every movie, I think all the film studios who like do sequences of films or like kind of like IPs that they follow up on, they always have to one up each other. And so eventually you're going to reach that point of diminishing returns. It's like, okay, you can't, like, how much grander? They had him flying without, parachutes and stuff, and like in the sky. Like, what's the next movie going to be? You know what I mean? Like I would have liked it like brought down a lot more, being like more small, more local, cool, just like hand to hand action, and not like such big grand fighting things. I thought the acting was good. I thought Florence Pugh was awesome. The dad, can't think of his name, Hopper.
Yeah, Hopper. David. Something. David. I'll look it up.
Yeah. I thought he was good, but like I thought the actors did well with what they were given, with like the dialogue and stuff. I just thought like the action was kind of whatever. And then yeah, John, you can
David Harbour.
clarify. So Black Widow, she's not the one Black Widow. Is there always been like a whole troop of Black Widows, or was that made for like for this film? Because yeah, I knew she was like kind of raised and brought up in this like area, this group or entity that like trains female assassins and they do crazy shit, because they mention it in like the other movies. But I kind of felt like they maybe all had their own like unique like code names, or not really personalities for assassins. You know what I mean? Like just when the fact that they just had like a whole football team of 52 Black Widows, I was like, it makes her like less special. So I felt like it took away from a lot of her allure for me. It was like, oh, they can all do what she does. I mean, I guess she has to fight some of them and hold her own. But yeah, I guess it's in the comics, so it's in the comics. But it might have been better if they changed it for the film.
Sorry, John, but before you explain, but Dre basically said that this is Fast 9 because you have to always one up one of the other movies, and in the end, it's all about family.
Yeah, did you watch the right movie?
I think Dre watched Fast 9 instead.
Yeah, maybe I watched Fast 9.
Oh, was there James Bourne in that movie or what?
I stand by that. The fact that I did not say James Bourne, I said Jason Bourne. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, thank goodness it's.
Don't run back the tapes. Don't run back the tapes. You don't have to. You don't have time in your busy schedule, viewers, to run back the tapes.
Actually, just delete the tapes.
Yeah. Lock this video and this channel from all your feeds moving forward. No, don't do that. But yeah, so all in all, it was okay. I guess they wanted it, they held this for so long because they felt like it was going to make $1 billion. I don't know. Maybe everything makes $1 billion now, which is kind of scary and sad. But I don't know if it would have been received that well a couple of years ago, but being now, it's just kind of, a little wet blanket. But the actors did well, so kudos to them.
Yeah, I agree with the acting was done well. And Ace, I'm gonna pass over you in a second. But Dre, yes, there are like the Black Widow program in the comics, but she's the Black Widow. Like she's known as the Black Widow. There's not like other, everyone's Black Widow. Like, no, there's like one Black Widow and it's Natasha Romanoff. It's just they're all part of the Red Room program.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. But this movie, I'll talk about when I talk about mine. Ace, what did you think?
So when they announced that there was a Black Widow movie, I was like, why? Like, I'm not interested on the Black Widow, right? To that point, this movie kind of blew me away. I actually enjoyed this movie. So maybe I walked in there with no, like, this movie's going to be trash. This movie is going to be that actor from Star Wars poo. But it actually, I thought it was pretty good, to the point where, Dre, like, I'll agree with Dre, like, where there was, he wanted more fighting. I liked the fighting. I wanted more fighting. Like, I thought Taskmaster was kind of badass. I thought Black Widow's and Taskmaster's fight scene on the bridge was really, really good, to the point where I was like, well, continue. Like, I want more, Why couldn't there be, Black Widow and the sister fighting Taskmaster? I think that would have been kind of badass, right? And my only gripe on for like superhero movies is to build up a villain and then kill them within 3 minutes. So That was my only gripe with this movie was so Taskmaster is supposed to be badass. You take off the helmet, it's basically Lady RoboCop, and then you you offed them off like in 3 minutes by locking them in a room and then blowing up the spaceship, and then that's it. Like
But Taskmaster survived.
correct. That's but what I'm saying is like
Oh, you
you
mean
built them up.
defeated?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Like you build them up so thing, and then in the last 7 minutes you defeat them by locking them in a cage, blowing up the ship, and Black Widow gets on our ship, tries to mend her other family while the other family goes off and does their thing. But I just wanted more fighting, since that's what the Black Widow does. It's fighting. Maybe her and her sister should have done more hand to hand fight. I thought the breakout jail scene was really cool. But yeah, and I think after that, it got kind of dry for me for a little bit until they, found the red room, right? But I just wish there was more fighting. But I like the movie. I really like the movie.
Yeah, same here. I thought I was gonna be the only one that liked the movie. But I may be the only one that will say that it's maybe one of the best standalone MCU films. I think I'll put it up there with.
Hot take.
I think it's somewhere below Civil War though, for sure. But yeah, I think it's one of my favorite Marvel movies. I may be biased because I'm a Marvel fanboy, or maybe I'm just a Black Widow simp. Who knows? But yeah, the action was really good. I really like the action. I agree with my brother that Taskmaster was a little kind of a flop. I think there should have been a bigger fight scene with her and Black Widow, or either the two sisters and the Black Widow. And then the only gripe I had was with the pheromones or whatever of her not being able to hurt Putlov or something. How do you, whoever that guy was?
Martin Scorsese, apparently.
Yeah.
And I guess the only solution was just to break her nose, which I thought was pretty lame of an excuse to put hands on him. And I think the Black Widow sister is going to be a great replacement for Black Widow. Even though we know that she dies in the end, I think what makes it better, knowing that she's going to be sacrificing herself for the greater good. I think I appreciate this film even more.
Great.
Also, sorry, gripe with John because saying that it came out too late. This movie was supposed to come out last year.
Still too late.
This was supposed to happen after Civil War, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why I say it comes out too late is because my biggest gripe with this movie, and I can get into spoiler territory with this, was the action, as Dre kind of jumped off because he got mad at me. But my biggest gripe was the action was sloppy. And I'll give you exact examples of when I thought it was sloppy. When Yelena Belova's fighting her friend in the beginning, but right before she gets gassed with the red solution, she stabs her and twists the blade or whatever, right? And there was no blood to be found on the other woman. And we see her whole torso. She just looks sweaty. And I was like, wait a minute. And that kind of took me out of the movie because, welcome back, Jay. I was just talking about how the action to me was sloppy. And then this is why I also think it came out late. We know Black Widow survives. So when Dre said, oh yeah, she gets blown up by Taskmaster and nothing happens. So I'm like, yeah, I don't care that she gets blown up because I know she's going to come out of this 100% fine. So there were no stakes for me. So it kept taking me out of the movie. Like, you can do whatever you want to Natasha because we know she's going to be just fine. So
wouldn't that be any Marvel movie? Like, if we were watching it, we were like, okay, well, they're not going to kill him off. There's still, we know there's going to be an end game. We know there's going to be, so no matter what, like we're watching, well, Captain America's going to make it through. He's not going to die, or Thor is not going to die. So we already know they're not going to die at the end of the movie.
Sure, the main character, for sure. But that doesn't mean that you can't build up empathy or sympathy or like hurt someone else in the movie. Not hurt, but you know what I mean, like the character wise, like if something, it's like there just
That
wasn't
one kid,
enough stakes.
die.
There just
I
wasn't
mean,
that whole stakes because the action was just very over the top for me, and I would have wanted a bit more grounded, more fighting, like actually hand to hand for sure. Taskmaster is known as the best hand-to-hand combat fighter in all of Marvel, and
Which they should have exposed more, right?
yeah. And so, and another thing with Taskmaster, not that I'm mad. So in the comics, it's a guy and it's a dude who has photogenic memory, like he has perfect mimic abilities. And the reason why that, like, I don't care that they changed it to Dracov's daughter or whatever, because it made sense to the film. I get that. I know what they're going for. They wanted sympathy again. But to me, if it was just a nameless villain, but like this is his ability, you could have him pop up in other games and just be like a crazy mercenary. Like I felt like you could have done a lot, but now they kind of singled out like this is just a Taskmaster. It's literally just a program that they put on female RoboCop.
Well, yeah. I mean, like when they took off the helmet, what is it supposed to be? Wade Wilson, Deadpool? What is this?
right. Wait, and so
Right.
isn't Taskmaster also like a strategist? I thought he was supposed to be like
Yeah.
incredibly smart.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, exactly.
For this one, she had no control over herself. So, you know, there's all this kind of, you know, men controlling women, I guess, theme for this film.
Right.
But yeah, like it would have been cooler if, yeah, it was more about Taskmaster, not about Harvey Weinstein, and like, and more like with the spying or espionage or whatever. Like, yeah, really, Black Widow and her sister family having to deal with Taskmaster, who seemingly like has all the answers, you know, is like 3 steps ahead in every situation because Taskmaster is the ultimate strategist and the ultimate fighter. So they can't beat him, her, they in a fight, and they can't beat them like in, you know, strategy or trying to plan shit. So I mean, you know, they went with the direction they went, but I felt like, yeah, I didn't see anything too new, at least for the action stuff. Because you know, like the other films, like I felt like the Black Widow fight scenes were very creative because you know they have a bunch of superheroes, and then it's oh great, they have like a regular human. So I thought I'd be bored by Black Widow and by Hawkeye's action, but then I ended up liking it like the most because I felt like the filmmakers and like the stunt people had to do like really creative ways to like make their actions seem cool and seem impactful around all these like god type characters, right? So I just felt like it was lacking a little bit of that in this movie, or a lot of that, but yeah, that's what.
One thing I did like about Taskmaster too, I think she paid ode to like when he was fighting against when she was fighting up against the dad. She did that Winter Soldier drops a knife swing. The Taskmaster also mimicked the kicking of the shield, the you know picking up the shield, the Black Panther claws. So she did her homework as far as like mimicking styles, right? Which it would have been really cool if there was 3 styles she had to mimic right then and there to try and fight, you know, the dad and the 2 sisters. Or once again, I'm gonna keep reiterating it, like 2 sisters versus Taskmaster. They just had such a badass weapon they didn't really use, and then just killed it off within the last 7 minutes to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought Taskmaster got that knife scene from Arya in Game of Thrones, killing the Night King.
Right. Yeah, that's true. It did seem very reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was my only guy. I like the family moments, like that dinner scene when they're all together at the table.
When he put on a suit, it was a little too tight.
Yeah, like that was
that.
super. Yeah. Oh god. But that was really good. Like the acting, again, the acting was amazing. The dialogue all worked. It was just the action that got sloppy for me, and I was just like, ugh. For me, I could be wrong. And another thing, Albert, that I did notice, Black Widow breaks her nose and it's like bleeding, and then the next like scene later, 2 scenes later, she's like completely healed, and I'm like, wait a minute, you literally just broke your nose.
It would have been better if they had her nose look like Owen Wilson's nose, right? Like a little nod to Owen Wilson in Loki or something. Because I was like, you still look beautiful with a broken nose. Like, come on.
So funny thing. So the first film I saw Owen Wilson in was The Haunting, I think it was called. With Catherine Zeta-Jones. I think it's called The Haunting. It's one of those Haunting or Haunting House or Hill House or whatever. But I think it's The Haunting. And he was the comic relief guy. He's all funny and stuff. And because he was the comic relief and his nose is so big and so awkward, I thought it was a fake nose to make his character funnier. I was like, oh, this guy's great. He's got this weird nose. He's all around here like trying to hit on all the chicks. Like this guy's this guy's hilarious. But then I saw him in another film and he had the same nose. I was like, wait, what? That's real?
He said, "That's real."
Yeah, but overall, like it just it's
Yeah. I think pay attention to detail. They lacked a little bit on their end over there, but I think overall, I think it's still
Like
stands like one of my overall
That's fair too.
movies.
And you can absolutely love it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the movie wasn't. I don't think the movie was bad at all. Again, just my bias. Like this is what I was noticing, and I was just like, all right.
Sorry, for me, if they didn't wait a year, like I think if they just released it, I would be less critical. But the fact that they really draw, I mean, yeah, I guess that not everyone, but for the most part, especially the big studios, they're making these films not for art, but to make money. But there are filmmakers who do want to make art, but clearly that's not Disney, not anymore at least. But like they're like, no, we gotta wait. This is gonna be like, I was thinking this was gonna be like maybe the best Marvel film because the talk was it's supposed to come out, but they really want to be in theaters. Like this is definitely gonna be $1 billion film because all those like, yeah, okay, it must be really good if they're like this for sure is gonna hit $1 billion because they had a lot of faith in it. And to me, I think that kind of made it fall a little short that they were like really trying to like wait until it can be out in theaters. So maybe I'm a little critical that way.
No, I just think the big execs didn't know how to make money without the theater.
Yeah.
Sales. But I mean, it did. I think Disney Plus did outsell theater tickets.
Theaters? Oh, did it? Yeah, I bought Disney Plus. Like, so this is probably weird. Maybe a conversation for another time. But like I kind of wanted things to still stay on. Like I want HBO Max to get stuff. I'm probably gonna go watch Space Jam right after we get off our call. I know it's sad for the movie theaters, but I kind of like being able to watch at home, not have to worry about like crazies or weirdos coming into theaters and doing weird shit.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all, and I love being able to watch like new releases on HBO Max. Shout out to Dre for letting me sign in as him. I mean, just kidding.
Ooh, I telling.
Snitch.
But yeah, so we're going. Oh, all right. I'll let John nerd out because he's a comic Marvel nerd. So
Iron Spider-Man.
Iron Spider.
Except for the fact that he's the only person in the world that is convinced that there's an Iron Man Spider-Man. But
Iron Spider.
So Florence Pugh. She's great. She's so beautiful. By the way. She's awesome. Anyways, talented. More importantly, she's talented.
A lot of Boonda shots. I don't know if you noticed.
Right? No, they did that on purpose. Like when Black Widow was walking to her like RV or whatever that she got from the dude, it was just all Boonda.
I mean, I would think.
Hey man, people be packing these days. People packing. That's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. But so yeah, the end credit scene, had her. So one, are we expected like is she gonna have her own standalone or something? You think now from this because it seems very focused on her. Oh, two, Elaine Bennis, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So she showed up now in the film and Marvel show. So what's John? You can do your thing. What's like what's her deal? And what can we expect to come up? Or maybe,
Ace has something to add.
So I had a quick thing. So I remember I was just chit-chatting with other Marvel nerds about this, and they pointed out something to me. They were like, as much as they thought Kang the Conqueror or He Who Remains was going to show up at the end of Loki, one of them brought up a really cool thing where how her name is Val within the Julia Louis Dreyfus, right? Her name is Val within the show, right? So they were saying like, don't be surprised if she might show up at the end of Loki. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why? So they're like, well, you know why, the TVA. So I brought this for you guys. So you know how this is the TVA logo, right? If you turn it upside down, it says Val. Is it a stretch? Is it a reach? Maybe, but I believed in it.
Yeah, and if you turn that upside down and you remember that Golden State lost that 3-1 lead, like we can make everything connect the dots. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have
Well,
Well,
been
that
there.
T is only showing part of the T, right? So it's an L. It's not showing the whole T.
Yeah, that was a
And I want to see the whole T.
The T or D, but
Hey yo,
T.
hey baby, let me see the whole T real quick. Come
yeah,
on,
I don't
man.
know. I don't know.
you
What kind
can
of
see the
tea-
whole T. You only got a lowercase D. Like, oh man.
I don't know what kind of tea y'all sipping on, but that was incorrect.
So yeah, I mean, I just thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, John, go ahead and
Interesting.
nerd out within the end of the end credits of Black Widow, please.
Absolutely. So again, let's remember that this was supposed to come out before the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show.
Oh,
It
okay.
was filmed beforehand. It was supposed to come out last year.
So we were supposed to have already seen.
So we were
or no, this
supposed to have
is supposed to be
seen
the
her.
first intro to her.
Correct. So this was supposed to be the first intro, meaning she's playing that Nick Fury style character of putting a team together. You son of a bitch, I'm in, Rick and Morty. So, Louis, can you say your name again for me?
Oh,
Jay?
Elaine.
Let's just call her Elaine for short.
Yeah.
So Elaine
Or James Bourne. That's probably James Bourne right there.
Elaine is Madam Hydra. That is her character. She is playing Madam Hydra. Madam Hydra, they didn't make this movie, but there was supposed to be a Captain America and the Serpent Society because Hydra is a bunch of serpents, snakes, what have you. She's Madam Hydra. She's playing that Nick Fury character, and she's putting together a team. She has a dark Captain America. She has
Dang.
dark.
That's messed up, Joe.
Why? Dark. He's evil.
The new show. Oh, okay. So now,
He is evil.
She shows up in Falcon Winter Soldier. Now it's a dark captain.
No, what? Yeah, like that's you play Pokemon. When the Pokemon went evil, they went dark.
Dang. Said Papa Doc is evil because he's dark now.
I didn't even no, that's you. Don't you put that evil on me, Knox. You don't put that evil on me.
Dang.
All right, let's just say evil.
First it was Iron Man, Spider-Man.
Damn,
So you got the
dark
nerds
is
off.
bad. Light
Yeah.
is good.
In
Now he's saying
the
that
translation is
Captain
dark
America.
type. No,
Now he's saying the new Captain America. Man, you're gonna have a
no, not the new Captain America. Falcon is not the dark Captain. The dark Captain America is. I was gonna say Soldier Boy because that's from The Boys, but it's
You,
Wow. Oh wow, he looks like Soldier.
no, that's okay.
Hey, so we talking about Superman?
Soldier Boy was the first Captain America, right?
So, U.S. Agent is the evil version of Captain America, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Quick interject though. Do they at this point consider themselves evil, or it seems like she's getting people shady, and
Yes.
and they may think that they're righteous or doing it for the right cause, but she has so she's more the dark element, not like, hey, we're
Yes.
a bunch of bad guys, let's team up.
Exactly. She's exactly right. She's basically drafting people with
Like the Justice League
shoulder. Sure.
or Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Well, they're Suicide Squad. They're forced to do what they're doing, or else they die.
Uh,
So she's putting a team together of not vigilantes, but anti-style heroes who are willing to work in the gray.
Mhm.
Yelena Belova is a spy. She's killed people. She's done her thing, just like Black Widow. But Black Widow wanted to rewrite her present so she can have a better future. Yelena Belova is still very much into that whole gray area. Yes, she loves Natasha, but she's still a mercenary. Again, the U.S. agent, the one that wanted to be Captain America but lost the mantle to Falcon, he is also in that gray, and she already met with him. She's putting together a team. Who is this team? This team is not the Thunderbolts. They're the Dark Avengers.
Thundercats.
Ho!
Oh.
So they are not the Thunderbolts. They're the Dark Avengers. And in the comics, they were put together by the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. But we haven't got introduced to him yet in the MCU. So they're going to use Madam Hydra as their catalyst to put together the Dark Avengers. Because, like you said, Dre, they can't. How can you out drama a guy that literally eliminated half the universe? You can't. So why don't we hit the drama more at home and have it more self-contained and have it more grounded? And how do you make a new Avengers team after Iron Man dies, Captain America left, and everyone's kind of disbanded? They had the whole Accords and whatnot. How do you bring together a group of special individuals? What do they fight? Well,
Stimulus check. Oh.
Huh? No, they fight a team that's trying to be them, but they're a bit more on the not evil side, but you can obviously tell as the audience watching, like, yo, them's the bad guys. Like if you remember Glass, like he wanted a villain for his hero. So she's just creating a hero for the public, but really a villain to our old heroes because she has her own agenda and intentions. With that said, before I know you guys are going to probably have follow-up questions or just make fun of me. There's a Hawkeye show that's coming out soon. In this Hawkeye show, Yelena Belova is probably going to be on the hunt for Hawkeye. And it's probably going to be an opportunity for her to join Hawkeye's side because she's going to find out, yo, you didn't really kill her. Y'all had this mission and I want to join you. I don't want to keep working for this big bad boss lady. At least that's my 2 cents, or like that would be my thing. Like, okay, cool. She's going to hunt Hawkeye. But Hawkeye could have killed the other Black Widow who could kill Yelena Belova, so she's not going to be able to kill him. And then she's going to join him because she's going to find the truth. Figure out the truth.
And then that's when the TVA, when you turn it upside down, it's really Val. Boom!
Someone's just going to pop out and like knock him over and tap him with one of those humidifiers and just send them to another realm. The TVA can just stop all this stuff.
They're no longer who they used to be.
Yeah, in this timeline. What about the other?
That's also true. That's also true. Because everything's all messed up.
So what, you think the start of Doctor Strange is he's going to be sitting in his like cool, weird wizard, sorcerer place, drinking some tea, and then all of a sudden he's going to be like looking at something and it's like, oh, there's all these splits. Everything's going crazy.
Yeah, he's going to be reading a book like Harry Potter. That'd be kind of interesting, right? Like he's reading a Harry Potter book.
That'd be cool. He should be reading Harry Potter.
If you really want me to answer that question, it's going to be a slight spoiler to a movie that's coming out.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't think you want me to answer that question.
We can save it for later.
Okay. We'll save it for later this year.
Perfect.
Okay.
Just so long as you're not coming out with false information like Iron Man and Spider-Man, then maybe we can trust you.
Yeah, come up with something like a Val and TVA as good as that. Then don't come with nothing at all, Johnny.
I have a question. Is Iron Man Spider-Man, by the way, that wasn't my thing. I kept calling Iron Spider. You guys are killing me. Is that worse than saying James Bourne?
No.
James Bourne is cool. Imagine like putting both of those movies together. James Bond, Jason Bourne.
Who was the Minority Report guy?
That's great.
Who was the Minority Report? What was his name?
Tom Cruise.
Huh?
Tom Cruise.
No, but the name of the character. Was he something? Was Minority Report a big deal?
No.
I think it's
never mind.
Thought of as well. It's really good. It's a really good movie. I think it kind of
Super
has
good movie.
Cult following. But it's like one of those like, oh, people should appreciate it more.
Oh.
Type deals.
His name was John Anderson.
The Loki show basically was, the thing that they were tackling, the issue was already in that movie, right? I thought about that when I was watching it. Oh, they just took the whole Minority Report, and it's like, well, do you stop someone from doing something if it's in the future? Like, are they actual criminals if they haven't done it yet? Like, are they really bad and doing that stuff? I mean, that's like something that's been broached already.
For sure. And with that, do you guys have any closing thoughts?
I'm excited to watch this James Bourne movie.
Who should act in it? Like, who should be the leading character? Who should be James Bourne, Jason Bourne's son, who's like, he has the Jason Bourne fighting skills, but has the like sex drive and libido of James Bond.
Easy, Michael Cera.
No,
There you have it.
no.
Daniel Damon or Matt Craig?
Daniel Damon. Daniel Damon.
Good old DD. All right, y'all.
There's probably some people in the world named Daniel Damon. I feel bad for them.
I told you don't rename me that, Mom.
They're gonna cancel us. Well, yeah, guys, thanks for nerding out with me today. I know a lot of the topics were definitely up my alley. But yeah, with that said, thanks so much for stopping by, everyone, and we will catch you all in the next one.
The boys.